So I guess it was 1970 I first saw the bluesman Johnny Shines performing at the Ann Arbor Blues Fest. They introduced him as his traveling companion, Robert Johnson, back in the 1930s. Oh, and I fought my way up to the front of the stage to give a listen to this guy. Man, he started singing his blues, and it sounded so much like Robert. It just evoked all these images of those guys running the roads. So I got a hold of Johnny's recordings, and I listened to him, tried to absorb his style of slide guitar playing, and read everything I could about him to see what connections he had with this bluesman, Robert Johnson. And then I lost track of Johnny Shines in the late 70s. He was living in Chicago from all I could tell, but there wasn't anything happening. He wasn't doing any tours. He'd come through my hometown in the early 70s and did some shows. And then I moved out of the north, away from the cold. Worked my way down south where I could survive. And about 1989, I found Johnny Shines living down in Alabama. So I went over to his house and invited myself in, hung out with him, listened to some of his stories. And I got up the nerve. I said, Johnny, I sure would love it if I could take you out on the road and we could do some shows together. I said, I know your birthday's the same day as mine, and maybe we could get together and celebrate. He's like, well, maybe. He says, what's your offer? I said, well, I'll give you everything. I'll come and pick you up in my big motorhome. I had a beat-up old 30-foot motorhome at the time. I said, I'll get some food. I'll get whatever you want to drink. I'll take you to the gig. I'll give you all the money from the gig. I said, you can just sit and tell stories if you don't want to play. I said, whatever you want. So he agreed. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But he said, no, Kent, I want to play. He had had a stroke and he couldn't play his guitar so well. He still had a power in his voice. So I went and I rehearsed with him day in and day out till we did our first show, and it was just, it was just heaven for me. Johnny Shines, traveling companion to Robert Johnson. Well, me and Johnny ran the roads 3 years all across North America, hunting and fishing and playing music. It was wonderful. He started getting a little money in his pocket, and we did some prestigious recordings together, and his career was starting to blossom again, and things were looking good. But he had diabetes, and it took its toll, and he went into the hospital and never came out. Died 4 days short of his 77th birthday. But I did write this little song about Johnny after carrying him to the grave. His coffin was made from steel, buried him along the blues highway, Highway 82. He didn't want to go from the womb into the world so cruel and cold. Now he's here and all he fears is growing old. When he was young he felt invincible, rambling, carefree and accountable. Mother Nature and Father Time are unstoppable. Well, he knows that he can't stay. He knows we all gotta go someday. All he can hope and pray is a painless leads away. Well, I stood in the Delta pines with the edge 16 gauge steel boys is all that I can feel as I carry him to his grave, wondering will he be saved? You into your tomb. It ain't nothing like your mama's womb. 6 feet of earth and 16 gauge steel. 6 feet of earth and 16 gauge steel. Stood in the Delta pine